You guys, we're here today to talk about Ready to Love. Let's talk about Ready to Love real quick, okay? Because I haven't been here for like 2 weeks, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because it was boring. I don't know. I didn't even watch it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I watched reviews because I watched the reviewers, and so I got the gist of what happened, and I was just like, nothing really happened. But what I do want to say, let's talk about Morgan real quick, you guys. The Brats, the reason why she is so pretty and single is because she's batshit crazy. And you guys, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all know I felt like Camille was crazy Camille, batshit crazy Camille. I feel like she's crazier than Camille. I really do. I really do. Like I feel like something is really wrong with this lady. And it's a shame because she's so pretty that she don't have to be so insecure and like she don't have to act that way. She just don't. But she's crazy to me. I'm sorry. The whole Nair and the hair thing or whatever, and she thought that she was funny, and she's even gonna laugh on this episode. You know what? It's fine. You could tell about the Nair and the hair because I was just trying to, make sure I, went out with a bang. I'm ahead of myself, but this is what she said. Like she thinks it's funny, and the fact that she thinks it's funny and it's cute and it's okay is crazy to me. I'm sorry. She just don't have that thing in her head that said, "Hey, don't do that." Like, hey, that's crazy. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I worked with a guy. I probably said this before or whatever, but it has always stuck with me. He said, "You can't take back crazy." And he's like, "You should always think about what you say before you say it to a man or anybody. Like, think about how you act or whatever, because that's going to always stay with them. You can't take back crazy." And I'm like, that's true. Like, I don't, once you act crazy, it's hard for people to see you any other way. Like I can't see this girl any other way. So we don't. I mean, that's it. That's pretty much it for more. That's all I would have said the past 2 weeks that I missed is that Morgan is crazy, and let's say allegedly because maybe I can't call her crazy, but she act crazy as shit, y'all. All right, let's get to the episode. Cynthia. It's Cynthia. Y'all, every time I hear the word Cynthia, I think about how Peter used to say Cynthia's name. And Cynthia. But it's Cynthia and Jeffrey, and they came over. They both look really cute. So they sit down with Jermaine, and Jermaine is asking them about family. Okay, they're both big on family because apparently they both have kids and children or whatever. Cynthia said she'll have another couple and a dog for him or whatever. Um, Jeffrey starts talking about the church and being a man of God. They talk about their other connections. Cynthia says there's similarities and then there's not. Jeffrey said there's no similarities whatsoever. I can't remember their other connections, so I don't know either way. Um, Cynthia starts talking about how, she's there. She wants to protect her man, protect his emotions, this and that or whatever. And the friend loved it, loved that answer. He's like, "Oh, okay. I love that answer. I know if it touched me, I know it touched him." So after they left, though, no, Andre Curly Q said it didn't touch him. It was kind of, it took he didn't like the fact that it was on the tip of her tongue, like it seemed that like it was rehearsed. And I beg to differ. I'm sorry. I beg to differ. Andre, where have you been? Oh, I'm sorry. He's been with COVID. So he was out. But he was still there the times that Cynthia was being grilled. And Cynthia has good answers. I don't think she be bullshitting. I think she be keeping it real. She talk real slow. Take a long time to get it out. But when she get her shit off, I feel like she's sincere about it. So where how is this new to him? I don't know. And you don't think Jeffrey's stuff is made up? All the, "Oh, he has to be a man of God and love the church, and he just has to because I love God and I love the church." And I'm like, and you love every goddamn body on this show. That's who you love. You love everybody, Jeffrey. So the fact that he's pointing more towards Jeffrey, I don't know. I don't care. I ain't gonna lie. I don't care. But it's just weird to me. Next up is Mark Anthony and his best friend Mark with the braids. What's happening here, Mark? What's happening here? Men with braids. Is that still a thing? Is okay. So we have Mark Anthony. Mark, his two connections are Destiny. That's her name, right? No, Mercedes. Why I keep calling this girl Destiny? Mercedes and Jeffrey, because of course Jeffrey is probably going to be in at everybody's date. I can't remember, but I'm gonna laugh if she actually is. They both look cute, of course, when they come in. I love the fact that Mercedes is just regular. She's just a regular. I'm not gonna call her a plain Jane because she doesn't look plain. She's a pretty girl. But I love the fact, and I ain't got nothing against women who wear wigs, weave, none of that. My family members wear it. They love it. They all look amazing. Some of these women on here can look amazing, but I don't know. I mean, something just be off about their hair sometimes. But the fact that Mercedes wears her own hair and she's just like, I like that. I do. I like that. So they sit down and he asks about. Let me think. He asks about. Shit. All right, I got it. He asked about, how what happens when they get mad or whatever. And I'm like, be glad that the brats ain't here. The brats down ain't here because she'd have been like, oh, I'm just gonna nair his shit off. But Mercedes said, no, yeah, Mercedes. Mercedes said, well, first off, Jeffrey starts with the whole, oh yeah, like communication is key, and you just gotta make sure that you really want to communicate with the person that you're communicating with because communication, and you gotta have communication. And I'm like, what did any of that mean? What did that mean? Like, what? So Mercedes actually answers the question and she says, listen, I may need a minute in the corner, in my corner to myself, which was a real ass answer to me because that's me. Give me a minute. Like, I don't hold grudges. I can sit back. I'm huge on taking accountability. Once I think about it, where did I go wrong? What could I have done differently? And just give me a minute though. Cause in the moment, like she said, she don't want to say anything that she would regret. I'm gonna get some shit off for real in the moment. So you might want to give me a give me a minute. So I appreciated her answer. Now, red flags about yourself, and I can't remember the answers to this, so I'm about to watch it back, and I'm interested in seeing what Jeffrey would say is a red flag about herself. All right, so Jeffrey says that her red flag is that she overthinks. And Mark Anthony tells me all the time to stop overthinking this and that or whatever. I'm like, I don't know. Is that a red flag or is that just a little negative? I don't know. Okay, though. And then Mercedes says that she has to come out of homie mode and show him that she likes him in a more romantic way. And I get that. And then he asks about their number two. Number one, number two, why isn't he your number one? Why do you have other connections? And Mercedes says that question is not for me because Mark Anthony had me. She wanted to say at hello, but it would have been so corny. But she said at the first conversation, and she's just saying that okay, let me keep that to myself because I was going to say what I thought about them being as a fit. But anyway, Jeffrey says that, it's not about being number one or number two. And, she has children. He doesn't have children. And my ex really, 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 really broke my heart really, really, really bad. He really did. And I'm just like, girl, hey, listen, this is what you won't hear me saying. I'm sorry. Fuck that. Fuck a broken heart. Absolutely not. Fuck a broken heart. Fuck him. No, I'm not giving anybody the satisfaction of sitting up on national TV talking about he broke my heart. Fuck him. Seriously? No, I'm done. I'm good. He was an ass. And we move on. We move on. That's it. But listen, to each his own. Y'all see all that anger just come out. Yeah, so Mark Anthony says, he really appreciates who they both are and everything. All right. And then once again, Jeffrey says that she has children. Mark Anthony doesn't have children, so she has to be careful and all that. And the friend reminds her, yeah, because it's not just you coming to the table. It's a lot. And I said, and it's all that baggage that she just said she really, 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 really has, which you can tell. All that really, really, she got a lot going on. All right, so his friend and his braids choose Mercedes, but it's funny the way he put it, where he's just like, first of all, they're talking about Jeffrey and her children, and he's like, yeah, I just have to make sure this and that or whatever. And I'm like, no, you don't want a woman with kids. Mark Anthony is still playing around. And it's funny the way the friend put it, where he's like, yeah, Mercedes is more, he didn't say down to earth, but he's like, she's more talking fluently and, that back and forth. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't seem put on. She's regular. She's a regular woman. She comes off as regular as opposed to like really thinking of what her answers are going to be and all of that. So he chooses Mercedes for him. And I choose Mercedes for him too because I just feel like neither one of them are really serious. Mercedes ain't serious about nobody. Mercedes don't want to be serious about nobody. That's why she wasn't calling to check up on Curly Q. And she said, listen, out of sight, out of mind. You dropped out this shit. So later for you. And she was like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. She told somebody else, listen, I see you as a friend. I ain't got it for you. Like, Mercedes is not trying to play with these men. And I also don't think she's really ready to be in love right now. So, but she will play with him and he'll play with her. So that's fine. I feel like they should definitely, get together. All right, y'all. Next up is Lyndon and his friend Troy. Y'all, Troy. Hey, Troy. Troy is a little cutie pie. Troy got that bald head that I am a sucker for. I am a sucker for a bald head. He got the little beard. He's cute, y'all. He's cute. And the way he laughed when Lyndon told him about the Nair thing, like he laughed like, you gotta be bullshitting me. Like, he picked up on the crazy right away. So the Bratz doll comes in and she looks cute, of course. Crazy, but cute. Y'all, so Troy's talking to my Troy. We just gonna call him my Troy, okay? My Troy is talking to Morgan and asking her about, why she has other connections or whatever. And she's like, because Lyndon's 5-year plan is more like my 2-year plan. I've already been waiting around or whatever. And Lyndon in the confessional is like, listen, I didn't think when I was coming on this show that I was saying, okay, I'm ready to love and to be married in 2 years. No, it's a 5-year plan. And my whole thing is, girl, you who has never been in love, ready to just get married in no time flat? I don't know. I don't know that I believe that. I don't know that that even makes sense. But I feel like she don't make sense. And we get there because Troy's like, listen, when was your last relationship? Okay, 5 years ago. He's like, was that the Nair guy? Yeah, he told me about the Nair guy. And this fool says, excuse me, yeah, you can ask me about that or whatever. It's fine. It was I looked it up on Google to make sure I wasn't gonna go to jail, and he's like, oh, so it was a plan. And the way he smiled was so awkward and so just like, holy shit. And he like even looked over at Lyndon like, do you know this? Like, do you hear this woman and the stuff that she was just saying? And she's laughing about it. And I already said it in the beginning of the review or whatever, the type of stuff she was saying, like, she found it really funny, basically, and she don't have a problem with it. And you could tell from his line of questioning and the looks on his face, like he was making all kind of looks like, you are shitting me. And she didn't care. Like, she didn't even pick up on the fact that he thought she was crazy. So she ends up telling him that she had to make a grand exit. And y'all, when she said that, he's like, a grand exit? Like, he was so taken aback, you can tell. He even clutched his imaginary pearls. Like, he was like, oh my God. Looks over at Lyndon again. And she's like, I wouldn't do that to him, though, because you're not a liar. And I'm like, girl, that's what everybody think in the beginning of the relationship. So as soon as he lies, you're going to nair. And they're like, yeah, I just feel like Troy is not about it. So he's like, so he asked her, what did he ask her? About being the guy for her or something. And she's like, well, time will tell. And I'm like, no, because she may like him a little bit, but she likes the other one. What's his name? Tony. She likes him more. So when she got up and she's just like, oh, in her confessional, she goes, oh, Troy's trying to see if I'm crazy for real. I'm not crazy. Yeah, yeah, you kind of are. I'm sorry. But she's also in her confessional saying that, she's not really worried about how the outcome is or whatever. And I'm like, I know you're not, because you don't really want him. You really want Tony. So that was that. And I can't remember what Troy says after she leaves. So let's find out. Yep, Troy got sense. Troy said that's a red flag the size of a football field. He's like, yeah, once she, she meets adversity, there's no telling how she's gonna act. And he even told her when she said it, that's scary to me. That kind of scared me what you just said. And not even just what she said, but the way she said it, and the fact that she didn't find anything wrong with it. She laughed like she literally. Do y'all understand? This lady Googled about this whole Nair situation. Do y'all understand that for real? Like, oh my God. Anyway, he's not feeling her, and I'm like, me and my Troy, we see each other. Yeah, next up is Blake and Sue-Ann. And when I tell you I don't give a shit, like I don't care about either one. I wish they were home and we didn't have to watch this. So this is about to go real quick because I don't even want to watch this again. I barely watched it the first time. I see that his friend is a cute and she's a nice looking lady or whatever, but she's smart. She don't go with him. Listen, I'll just be your friend. I'll just be your friend. I'll look at the dimples from a mile away and we'll be cool, but I can't deal with you because you're a little crazy. Um, but yeah, I don't give a shit about them. So I'm not really going to be that invested in this situation. So we're gonna go past this very quickly. All right, so along with the Blake date, we also get the Tony and his best friend Antron. Yeah, I used to work with a guy named Antron. Actually, he was my manager, and I just never understood the name Antron. Like, why your mom put an R in there? I don't know. I don't get it, but okay. And he's meeting with the Brad Stow and Marcia, is that her name? Y'all know I always get her name wrong. The girl with the gums. So they're meeting each other, and then when Crazy walk in, first thing Crazy says is, "Oh, me sitting here with somebody else that's talking to my man. I'm not really used to that, so I'm very territorial." And I'm like, "And Crazy, we know, we get it." So she walks in with kind of an attitude. She looks cute, of course, cute and crazy. Y'all, problem with Susu is that she's an attorney, right? But she don't know how to really talk and give answers to me. I'm sorry. So the friend says that she has quality friends. She don't have a lot of friends. She has quality friends. She feels like Blake is just black and white. He's gonna tell you the truth. There's no ifs ands what's buts about it, and he's gonna have your back. How would you have his back? This girl says, well, in the confessional, not in the confessional, in the women's lounge, they want to send him home every what's the name. So I have to just focus on our connection. They want to send him home every week. And I'm like, that ain't what she asked you. Basically, you saying, oh, I sit in this women's lounge and I go to bat for him because he's really an asshole and all the women don't like him and want to send him home. And number one, you're not the reason why he's not being sent home. I can't remember where I saw it. It was on a little black book. It was on something where who said it? Damn, I can't remember where I saw it. And I hate that because I always like to cite my sources, but it was on another YouTube thing where they said that nope, it was Little Black Book, and I think he played where somebody was being interviewed or something. But anyway, they said that they were not going to send Blake home because Blake, I guess, was making good TV at the time. So the fact that he has been on the bottom every week and they've not sent him home is actually production, which makes me really not like the show. I already feel like there's a whole lot that we be missing out on with this shit. Like we know from all the interviews that they used to do years and years, not years and years ago, but for over the years that, there's a lot that's not shown. There's a lot that happens behind the scenes that we don't see. And that's why half the time we don't get what's happening on the show. We're just like, where'd that come from? Why are you acting like this? Why is it? Because we don't see a lot. So problem with the show is that it's like kind of microwavable where it's like, let's just hurry up and get this shit out. That's why they keep doing it back to back to back. But there's so many flaws in the way this show is ran. And the fact that everybody hates Blake and wants him to go home and y'all are trying to keep him there, it is just not genuine. Like the show itself, y'all, I can't do it. I said before I couldn't do it. I can't do it. Now next week look like it's gonna be good though, but I can't do it. But anyway, I just feel like Susu is who cares? Who cares, y'all? I'm not talking about them no more. All right, Blake's friend, you guys, were those contacts? I'm not very good at spotting contacts. It looked like contacts in her eyes, which I hated. But then on the other hand, I was like, it could possibly be. I don't know. I'm terrible at spotting contacts. If it was contacts, it would make sense that she is friends with Blake. But she's just like concerned about the fact that Sue Ann, oh, she's been divorced for 2 years and he would be the first real relationship that she's been in. So whatever, who cares? Then we have Antron, and he's just like, I'm thoroughly impressed. And I'm like, yeah, that's because they didn't tell you the near story. He says that, Morgan had not great answers. The way that she was expressing herself, she was very direct or whatever. But he thought Marcia had better answers. But Morgan was just all about him. And I'm like, yeah, in a crazy way. Did you see that, Antron? Did you see the crazy in her eye? You didn't see that twinkle? Oh my God, it's going to be so hard. I'm like, that's because they didn't tell you about the Nair. If they would have told him about the Nair, I feel like it would have been different. All right, next up is Anthony. He has a friend, Miriam. She's going to meet two different dates. She's going to meet Sue Ann with her just annoying. She's annoying as shit, y'all. I'm sorry. Sue Ann and Cynthia. And the other one, who did she meet at the house? I can't remember. We'll go back to it. Oh, Mercedes. And Mercedes is giving her regular Mercedes answers or whatever. She doesn't have children. She would like to have children. If she don't have children, she'll be a parent to a dog or whatever. It's fine. Anthony thought it was really funny. Okay, great, Mercedes. Sue Ann comes in, and the first thing she says is, "Oh, hey, yeah, he won't let me know if he like me or not." And Anthony in the confessional says, "Listen, after we had our first date or our date or whatever, and she expressed that, I thought I've been way more vocal about how I feel about her, but she's just not letting it go." And I'm like, because she's an asshole, just like Blake. And that's why they belong together. Sue Ann is a jerk. Like, why do you keep bringing that up? And she really does. I feel like I haven't watched it, but every time I watch it, when she talk about Anthony, that's what she's saying. And I'm like, you really don't give a shit because you don't like him. You like Blake. So why are you all over this man like me, tell me if I'm your number one, and he's not your number one? Sue Ann can beat it, y'all. I just really want her to beat it. All right, so Miriam is asking about kids and everything, and what's her name? Sue Ann says that she got a kid or two or something like that. I don't know. And she doesn't mind having another one, but later on. Mercedes says, "Listen, that's been my apprehension about proceeding with him," because she asked about his daughter. How would his daughter fit into your dating life or whatever? And like I told y'all, Mercedes ain't playing no games with them. She's not gonna bullshit you. She's not, and she didn't. She said, "Listen, that's been my apprehension. Like, I don't know how that's going to work out because that's not where she is in life right now. It's just not, y'all, and that's fine. She's not at a place where she's trying to have babies, date men with babies, be the stepmom, and do all that, and that's fine. She's 31. The rest of them are like 39. Like these are older people. She's in her early 30s, and so that's fine with Mercedes. I had no problem with her answers. I just feel like maybe what she's looking for is just with Mark Anthony. The fact that they on the same page, y'all just go head off into the sunset together. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. His other date, the one-on-one with Miriam, was with Cynthia. And of course, Cynthia was knocking the answers out the park. She said that she knows how to get her baby daddy in line. And although I didn't review that, I did see a clip of where the baby's father was just acting ridiculous. Like he was acting so fucking ridiculous with the other men, where I was just like, Jesus, ain't no way, ain't no way my daughter's father can come and wreak all this havoc because no, I'm gonna need you to just sit down. Just sit down. But she says she knows how to reel him in when she needs to. That's good to know. I don't know. I would have loved to have seen her do just a little bit of that in that clip that I saw, but okay. She said that she's tired of wearing the pants and playing the man role. Women are not meant to play the man role, and that's what I've been doing. I'm really tired. She's ready to be submissive, and I'm like, girl, I hear you. I hear you. I'm same, ready to be submissive. I'm all right with somebody playing the man role. That's fine. So again, he said that Cynthia had all the right answers and she couldn't be, you can't shake her. And it's true. And I don't feel like it's because she's full of shit. She sounds so genuine. I feel like Cynthia knows exactly what she wants and she's ready, and she gives off very genuine, like when you're not bullshitting, it's gonna come out naturally. And that's what I feel like for Cynthia. Oh yeah, so Miriam's answer was Cynthia, of course. She's direct. She knows what she wants. She did like Mercedes. She liked the fact that she was being very honest, but also she's being honest and telling you she's not sure that she can give you what you need. So later on, if you choose her and that doesn't happen, you're gonna be mad at yourself because she told you up front. And I think it's so true. Like I said, Mercedes keeps it real. She said about Sue Ellen, whatever her name is. She said that she said that you're not really giving her, the time and attention and all that or whatever. And so she, in a roundabout way, said, I don't think she's for you. Like, I feel like you're not really giving her the I like you and all the attention or whatever because you're not really feeling her ass. And she couldn't say it like that, but that's what she was saying. And I think it's true. Yeah, you ain't got to beg nobody for attention and, stuff when they really like you. He's just not that into you, sweetie. And it's fine because you're just not that into him either. All All right, so the men meet with Tommy and tell about the dates and all that, yada yada. We find out again that Anthony feels like Sue-Ann is just there to prove a point. And what's the point? The point is that she wants me to say who my top is and all that or whatever, and I just won't give that to them because I don't want any sort of bickering or whatever in the women's lounge about what, I'll just save that until it's time. Okay, who cares, Anthony? I'm sorry. It's fine. It's fine. You don't know who you want. Um, so they I found it really funny that he was talking about Curly Q's hair, and he's like, yeah, you can't decide on a hairstyle. I'm like, it's so true, it's so true. See, and Tommy is a real friend because he's trying to let you know in a cute way that shit ain't hot, that ain't it, but he's not picking up the cues. Look, Curly Q's. But then in the end, when they're getting ready to go or whatever, Tommy ends up telling them they're going on a weekend getaway. Great. We love it when they're in the same house. That's when all the mess happens, right? But when they leaving, he tells Tony, she gonna burn your damn hair off. And I'm like, I'm like, Tommy be trying to tell them and warn them of things, and they just don't listen. Like they just don't. All right, you guys. So we wrap it up with Sue-Ann was at the bottom. Marcia was at the bottom. She's going to see Mark Anthony. Marcia's not crazy. She's like, listen, I don't fool with Mark Anthony at all. So this can't be good. Sue Ellen, and whatever her name is, I feel like he really strung her along and made her sweat it out. So I appreciated that because once again, he's saying how he initiates all the calls, this and that, and she's saying how he's standoffish. We don't care. We want you to be so standoffish, Susu, that you're just not here. How about that? So anyway, Marcia ends up, everybody friend zoned her. You're so much of a friend. It's weird though because Tony didn't really friend zone her, but okay. So I think it's all strategic now, you guys, because I feel like they're not sending Sue-Ann home because she had a couple of disagreements, though they want her to be there. Marcia is kind of safe, so it is what it is. So she took it like a champ. She's just like, listen, it's cool. I'll take what you're saying and I'll, apply it to my life. It's all good. So that's it. That was the end. And next week, like I said, I think it's going to be very interesting. Seems like it's going to be good. So we will wait for next week. You guys, if you are still here, you are the real MVP. Thank you very much. I would like to give a shout out to my new subbies. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the family, the beautiful people family. And we're almost at 500, you guys. And I spoke with my baby and I'm like, baby, when I make 500, I really am going to show my face. I'm going to make my face my profile pic or whatever for the channel. So I really am. And yeah, let's get to 500. Let's get more than that. But for now, let's get to 500. So if you have not already, please consider subscribing. It is absolutely free of charge. And thumbs up the video. It does wonders for my analytics. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Smooches.